Hello and welcome back. For this next tutorial, this second tutorial, we're going to build on what we've learned in the first lesson where we're drawing basic shapes, and we're going to put some basic shapes together and draw a creature. In this case, we're going to draw a turtle. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go start by going File New. Again, doesn't matter what action script, we're not going to use it. So we'll stick with ActionScript 3 and click OK. Right. We're going to use some items from up at the top. We're going to be using Modify Transform quite a bit for this exercise. And we're going to be using the Shapes tool, of course, and we're going to be using a new tool, the Line tool. But first of all, we're going to start by drawing the turtle shell. So, at the moment I'm on a black outline. The stroke over here is set to 4, and I've got a paint bucket with the colour is green. Yes, it's green, but it's the wrong type of green, so I'm going to click on that one, or I can click over here, doesn't matter which, and I'm going to choose a green for the shell. As you can see, it's updated in both. So I'm going to start by drawing a oval, an ellipse, like so. And there we go. If you remember how we move objects, double click, and we can drag that around with our select tool. I'm now going to use a line tool. I'm going to leave it on stroke 4, and I'm going to leave it set to black. And I'm going to divide the shell into sections. Try and keep the lines as straight as possible. Doesn't matter whether they go off slightly. But we're going to split it into 5 pieces, like so. And then we'll split the it horizontally in 3 places. And there you go. Well, that's all well and good, but it looks a little bit flat. So what we're going to try and do is give it a look at a sort of a 3D, try and make it stand out a little bit. So all I'm going to do is go back to the select tool, and now if I hover over each of these lines, you can see we've got a little curve, a little arc symbol just underneath the cursor. So moving away, then moving onto the line, you can see we've got a little arc tool. I can now drag these lines and create more of a shell-like pattern. Like so. And just to make it even more realistic, I'm just going to add a little bit more colour, a darker green, and put that on every other segment. So I'm choosing the next green along, slightly darker. I'm going to choose a paint bucket tool, and there we have the shell. Okay, for the next step, that's all well and good. The turtle's obviously been startled, and all its body parts have gone inside the shell, but we want to see the body parts. So let's start by drawing the head. So I'm going to draw 2 horizontal lines from one end of the shell. I'm going to create a basic head shape. Again, we can use a select tool and we can curve this to make it look, well, a little bit more realistic. So there's the head. This needs to be a colour. I think we're going to choose some a browny green. Let's have a look at what this one's like. Yeah, it's okay. And then we'll draw in some feet. Like so. Again, if we want to curve this to make them look a little bit more like flippers, just going to bring that down. There we go. And again, we'll stick with the same colour, paint bucket tool, and click. Now then, rather than drawing these out again, the easiest thing would be if I double click on it, and then what I'm going to do is going to go to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste. We've got three different types of place, but we've got paste in center and paste in place. Paste in central, just put it in the middle of the page. Paste in place will put it over the top of the existing one. So I'm just going to paste in center for this. But what I am going to do, because we've got that, and I'm going to put this to the back, it's the wrong way round, or rather it could do with being rotated. The way to do that, I mentioned before, modify. I've got modify transform. I click on free transform. I can now rotate. If I hover over the corners, I can rotate this and pull it towards the shell. That's gone slightly over, so I'm just going to use my cursors on my keyboard and just position it that little bit more accurately. Click away, and there you go. There's the back foot. Again, it's just that line's thickened up, so I'm just going to double click on that and pull it in a little bit. So it's got two legs at the top, or at one side. It needs to have two legs at the bottom. So I'm going to repeat that same process. Double click. I don't know what that is. Double click. I'm going to hold down Shift key. Double click. So now I've selected both. I've got double click. Hold down Shift key on the keyboard. Double click, and I've selected both feet. Again, I'm going to copy and paste this. Edit, copy. Control V on the keyboard just to paste it in place. And I'm going to modify, transform. This time I'm going to flip vertically, and that's rotated them around, or rather that's mirrored them, so that they are the opposite way around. And I can pull that down like so. Just line it up. Again, I can use the cursor just to put it in place. So we've got the basic turtle shape. It needs a tail, so we'll put a little tail on, and again curve that like so, fill that in. Okay, just to finish off, I'm going to put two eyes, or rather I'm going to put one eye and duplicate it, or copy and paste it, so it's got two eyes on its head. Now what we can do, and what you would do in most software packages, is you would draw the eyes. I'm just going to make this white, over the top like so. The problem with that, if I double click on this now, I want to move it, it's removed, it's deleted a section of the head. Now I can fill that back in if I choose this. I can fill that back in, but it's a little bit of a mess about. So it's always better if you're drawing if you want something to appear on top but you don't want to destroy what's underneath, to draw it away from the object. So I'm going to keep on with this. I'm going to draw this above, away from the head. So we've got the pupil of the white of the eye, and now we're going to put in the pupil. I think the turtle will have blue eyes, and we're going to zoom in. So here we go, selection tool, and I've zoomed in. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. There we go, and then I'm going to draw in the pupil. Again, I can cursor that and move it around. So, zooming back out again. A quick way of zooming back out, if I hold down the, if I right click, sorry, hang on, no, not right click, the Alt key on the keyboard, if we're working on the PC, I'm not quite sure what it is for the Mac, but for the PC, hold down the Alt key and I can zoom out. I'm just going to zoom out to there, use my slider bar so I can see the head, double click, shift key, double click, I've got all the eye now. I'm going to drag that into position and then I'm going to copy and paste. For this I'm going to use Control C, Control V on the keyboard and just move that into place. And if I now zoom out, there is my finished turtle. Just leave you with this one thing I heard on the news earlier on in the week. There was a lorry load of tortoises and it crashed into a train full of terrapins. It was a total disaster. There you go. So what we will yes, what we will do with our turtle, what a cute little face it's got. With our turtle, what we will do is final thing, I'm going to edit, select all, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to turn this into a symbol, because we're going to use this turtle later. So convert to symbol, and I'm going to call it turtle. We'll come on to symbols later on. I'm going to leave it as a movie clip. Just so I know that it's a movie clip, I'm going to underscore, which is shift and the key to the side of the 0, MC for movie clip, and click OK. And there is our turtle, all finished. So, thank you very much for tuning in. I will see you for tutorial 3. Bye.